want to turn to the book of First Kings, 18th chapter, verse 21. Really tonight from this teaching text is really profound, and it is very investigative. Matter of fact, when I use it in the term, it's not only going to investigate your mind, it's going to investigate what you think, how you think, and then it's going to investigate our complete settledness that we have toward God, being absolutely settled toward God. I've read this many, many times and never saw it in the vein of which we're going to speak tonight. In that 21st verse of First Kings 18. And when you read the verse, you can understand. I understand why they could not answer or respond back to Elijah, because the very question that he presented to them pinpointed them to respond from a heartfelt, conclusive answer. And when I really look at that, I can look at that and teach it how to do it. Which is very profound. The first question he asked when he comes before the people, how long? So it sounds like they had been in this mental and emotional condition of just kind of wandering around in themselves and not really coming to a specific place of belief. And what we want to look at, the place of their undecisiveness only dealt in an opinion, not a truth. Just in an opinion, not a truth. He said, how long will you halt? Halt means to stay. How long are you going to stay in this position between two opinions? Two opinions. And when you look at they were between the two opinions, is because they could not decide on which side of which opinion they should go to, which is the problem in the first place. Because we should never be opinionated about God. Because the Bible teaches that He is absolute. So why would we take an opinion about God and His Word? And when He says, when He says heaven and earth, my word so sure that heaven and earth would have passed away before it will pass away before one jot or tittle of my word would fail. With that conclusive truth, why would we develop an opinion? And our opinions are what? Unstable. Our opinions can be very stressful to us because we can't come to a conclusion to decide. And the reason why we can't come to a conclusion to decide is because we have a lot of whys. How come? And most of those come from how we look at circumstances that face us in our life. Many times we base God on the truth of God, the absoluteness of God. We base it from our own opinions about circumstances that we see or that we're in. We take an opinion about something, and when we take a particular opinion about something, when God has said something, you cannot accept what God said because you got an opinion on the circumstance and not moving in the truth of God. You okay with that? Now listen to what he said. This is powerful. He says, how long will you halt? How long will you stay in your opinion or your opinion about God versus the devil? How long are you going to be opinionated? If you live in an opinionated state with God, you're already off balance with God. Because you're not taking what God says as truth. You're placing your own opinion upon it. And when you do that, that's when we get into our feelings, our emotions, our passions. And that's when we begin to struggle within our inner self because we're not looking at God as an absolute truth. We have our own decided opinion about God according to the way the circumstance presents itself. Okay, sir? We are faced as believers situations, and we make decisions or act upon the decisions how we have mentally developed an opinion about the situation. We look at the situation, and then we become opinionated about what's God going to do about this? How is he? How could we ask God how he's going to fix something? Because we're asking him, really, how can you fix it? We're really asking him, do you have the ability to fix it? Because you were not asking how he's going to fix it if you just believe he's going to fix it. Now you're wanting details to see how God's going to work it to make it come out right. That's deep thought. Think about it. And so when Elijah came to the people, and these people had been in this spiritual state of mind. Really, they were double-minded. But the Bible said a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. In this state they were in, they were unstable in their doings, in their response, in their thinking, because they could not legitimately within themselves make a decision. Is God right or is the enemy right? Is God true or is the enemy true? When we look in St. John 10 and 10, it tells us, according, that the thief cometh not to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. What's that saying? The thief only comes to do three things. Well, why are you going to take the finger about him on this a fourth thing? But it says he only comes to do kill, steal, and destroy. What is so questionable about that? When the Bible tells you directly what he's about. But Jesus said, I come. That's the other side of the equation. Satan comes for this, but I come for this. Now, which one are you going to decide on who came? Well, you're going to make a decision. The decision generally is not made just out of the mere acceptance of the immediate time to accept. The acceptance comes from how we view what we're going through, how we view what's before us, how we view what other people are saying about it. And the people talking about it don't know all the truth, don't even know the truth. Huh? But they're giving you your opinion, and we get sidetracked by people's opinion of what they think about. Do you see how controlling that can be on your life and how it can control your life? How that it can affect your joy and your peace dealing out of somebody else's opinion instead of dealing out of what the truth of the word of the Lord is saying. Is this clear? He says, how long will you halt between two opinions? If. Now notice how he says it. When you put the word if on something, that's already an indication of unsurety. It's an indication that there is something else. Because if this don't work, then there must be something else that can work. You catching me? Here's how he said it. Because he could have said it another way, but he said, if the Lord. He could have said, since the Lord. Huh? Now he responds back to the if because their mind had already developed the doubt and the if. So what he is doing here, if you really take it, he is making them, by the way he says it, go back into themselves to recognize where they really are about God. Are you about God from the truth of God? Are you about God from the opinion you take about God? Huh? I've used this often when people try to go to the Bible and say, is God really going to punish homosexuality, like he says? And people ask you as a believer, what do you think? It's not your thought. It's not your thought to think. It's you to reveal what God has said. And I don't have an opinion on that. Here's what the Bible says. You decide to accept it or not. Because I'm not going to be in no controversial battle with you in your opinion because you're so strong in your opinion. I'm just going to waste my time going back and forth, and you're going to keep your opinion, and still nothing will be changed in the long run. That's wasted time. That's wasted discussion. So here what Elijah is really saying, how long are you going to be in two opinions? How come you can't decide one or the other? Huh? It's like a food. You might want fried chicken or baked chicken. You send it out to baked chicken, fried chicken, and you got an opinion of, the baked chicken looks good, but I'd rather have fried chicken. And so you got to make a choice. And most time what we do, we choose two, the baked and the fried. But then we got to decide which one tastes the best. Because once we decide which one tastes the best, that's the one we're going to go back and get seconds on. So I'm just using a simple analogy of how our brain works when something is presented to us. Mm-hmm. So the Bible teaches us that it is spiritually dangerous for us as believers to put God in an opinionated state. Huh? Because opinions are not truth. They're just thoughts that you have taken an opinion on, and you're going to decide from the thoughts you put on the opinion on the thoughts, right? And you know where opinions come from? Is when we look at a given situation and we're not sure of the situation, we start moving into its of our imagination. And depending on how strong those imaginations are, we will put an opinion on it instead of going into the Word of God and giving you the truth of it. Huh? Difference. Opinion on it instead of the truth of it. How often do we work as a believer the opinion on something instead of the truth of something? Think about that. And he says, if the Lord be God, if the Lord be God, that's out of an opinion. Because it is out of the truth from the way they were thinking, since God is God. See? Follow him. So they had taken an opinion about God to where they were not following God. So when God gives us a word and we don't obey it and move another way, we have taken an opinion about God. He says, if the Lord be God, if the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, which was another God, if he's God, follow him. So what are you going to base on your following? What are you going to base on what you're going to follow? Are you going to base your following off an opinion? Or are you going to base your following off of the truth? Wow. And the people answered him not a word. They couldn't answer a word back to them because Elijah had put something before them that went beyond their mental aptitude to be able to answer because they were already emotionally trapped between opinions and not the truth. Because see, watch this. You can't be literally locked between truth and truth. Because either truth on this side is truth or truth on this side is truth. You can't be caught between truth. But you can be caught between an opinion of how you looked at something here, and then looked at that same thing over here, and now you take an opinion on the thing that was the main focus, but because of the way you looked at it here, and the way you looked at it over here, and the way we look at it really comes out of our emotions. Comes out of our emotions. Why does it seem that it seems so hard in living just get on life? It's hard to make a decision. Why does it seem so hard? Situation comes up, and you got to make a decision. And you struggle with it. And you struggle with it. You ask to do this. You ask to do that. What goes back? You know why you're not struggling? Because you've already taken an opinion. And if somebody's not responding back to your opinion, then it's hard for you to accept it. You don't think it's true because it doesn't line up with your opinion, but your opinion on it is totally off anyway. Wow. Elijah's question to them is so prevalent, even with God's people today. The first part of the verse is exhaustible. So it's exhaustible or inexhaustible topic. Because when you're opinionated, you do not come to an exhausted place to where you're done with it. You keep feeding into it because you can't come up with a conclusion of truth. Because your opinion, you think about it one way in opinion, somebody else comes along talk to you about that subject, you think of another thing. Right? And the more we look at something, we just keep coming up with opinions. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Right? And Paul, excuse me, like he was saying, you got to check why you in this undecisive, exhaustible situation. You know why you get disgruntled with God? Because you take opinions of that. You know why you won't trust God in certain areas? Because you take an opinion of that. But if you take the truth of God in a situation, there is no room for an opinion. The only thing is to decide off the truth. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Hmm? People get discovered in church. Well, I think I need to change. I need to make a church. I need difference around. Why? Because they're living in the kingdom. Because if you live in the truth of God, he said, what you're looking for, you're not going to find that. He said, I got you somewhere where I've anointed that man to speak into your emotions, your passions, and your feelings. Right now, I'm really blowing your mind with this one verse right here. I know I am. There's no doubt in my mind. Because I'm teaching exactly where we live as believers consistently. Huh? And a person that really is unstable is an opinionated person. Because they're driven by their opinion. They're not driven by truth. Truth has no place for an opinion. Truth only has the place for acceptance. Let me say it again. Truth has no place with an opinion. Truth only has the place of acceptance, and the acceptance will be because of the faith of what you believe about that truth or that truth. Catching it? He said, now if God be God, then you serve him. Here's what he said. If God be God in truth, serve him. But if God be God in your opinion, you can serve him, but you're not going to get out of your opinion about God what God really wants for you. Because what God has for you is going to be totally against your opinion. And when God don't respond back to you from your opinion, then you distrust what God is saying. Because God's not lining up with what your opinion is about this circumstance. Is this true? Wow. Whew. So Elijah is saying, and I'm saying to you tonight, what are you really questioning about God? What are you really questioning about God? That has us stuck in our opinion. When God says he's able, is that a truth or that's an opinion of God? It's a truth. Because God cannot move and will not move, absolutely will not move out of an opinion because an opinion is not bottom line truth. Now, I want you to turn to scripture and come back to this a little bit. In the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 35. So let's look at the word opinion. What is it? It is a belief or a conclusion, not substantiated or not validated by proof. Huh? Then I was talking, as they put all this stuff on media and whatever. And I want to challenge my life. How can I go before public opinion and get a fair verdict when they've already said all this stuff in their mind already? If they don't know the truth, they're just taking opinions about me and people. They don't even know the truth. So if I go before a jury, how are they going to look at this? Opinionated. And now they're going to pass a verdict on me out of their opinions, which has been said by the media. Huh? Poor Mr. Trump, that's what he does. Huh? That's what they do to him. All this stuff they pulled out on him is no worse than the one that's already in office. Huh? And some of them are very careful how they respond because they don't want anybody to go inside their dirty closet. Huh? So they got to do. How you going to impeach a president off of immoral when Clinton does? How are they going to impeach but not let Clinton be president when he had a side chick? And Clinton had one in the office, on his office desk, where he makes decisions for the nation. But see, opinion makes him look worse than Clinton did. And Clinton committed the same sin. At least Trump took her to the hotel. Clinton did it in the White House. Huh? But you don't see them bring nothing up about that in all this they're doing right now. Hmm? Now, and like I said, I'm going to be preaching on what we're going through so we can stay abreast of it. But I want you to stop and realize because it would be very easy for you to become discouraged or disheartened by what the thought of what your character is in this situation. If I really care about what people are thinking about me in this, I could minister to you like this. I could minister to you like this. Right? Because I would have to deal with, what do you think? No, I'm not being arrogant and nasty. I don't care what you think. Because that's just your opinion. But God knows the truth. Hmm? Well, listen, are you afraid? No, I'm not afraid. She said, I know you're hearing all this of the possibilities. I said, yeah, there are possibilities, but you're going to have to prove the fact that the truth of it is that I deserve what people are assuming. And she said something to me. She said, you know, after they release certain things, there's information that the prosecutors have or attorney general has. He does not release it until somebody has been put into jail. And she said, that's when we as lawyers get that information. said, we're going to fight this case from the information that they're giving us. So they're going to tell us exactly what evidence they have to initially lock up the first people involved in the case. She said, that's why they only locked up certain people, because they had evidence to want to be locked up. And the reason you didn't get locked up, because they don't have anything to want you to be locked up. Huh? Because if they did, they could lock me up on false charges, which they had no evidence in their file. Huh? But I thought about it. I said, how could I really go before a jury and get a fair trial when their minds have already been led down a road out of assumptions and opinions? Huh? And my lawyer pretty much said that. She said, this thing can go on because they've got to get actual evidence to say that was wire fraud. Now, here's what she said. It was wire fraud, but you were told to fraud the wire. Because you did not have a record to show that you had the capabilities to do it. I said, I couldn't even tell you what somebody paid for if you looked at it. And that's why they put in the news that April was persuaded, that entrusted someone and gave the information to them. So they know we're not smart enough to take the information, do not wait. So they know that we were not intelligent enough to take the information to even fraud. In other words, they already knew we did not have the mind. They knew we did not have the criminal mind. You know why they know that? Because they couldn't find nothing criminal in the records. But the truth is, knowing the ones they locked up, there was criminal records that they pulled from. They see there was a tendency, something happening over and over again. Now you're dealing with people that make it, there's nothing even there. They can say, well, you done it out of criminal. In other words, here's what they say. And I listen to this script. They said you were not even capable to conceive a thought like that. Did you? You could not even conceive it, to even implement it, because your mind don't think that way. Huh? I could almost try my own case on it. Really. I just don't have the legal paperwork to represent myself as legal representation. And since they're paying for it, they can take it in. Really. Huh? Really. I'm not being arrogant at all. Because I know I got to stay humble before God through all of this. But when the Lord spoke that scripture to me this morning, He said, why I caught you between two opinions. With God be God. You don't take an opinion about God, because God does not operate out of opinions. He operates out of truth. Huh? Matthew 24:35.
Heaven and earth shall pass away.
Now what was it saying?
Heaven and earth shall pass away.
Now, is heaven still there? Are you on earth? Yes?
But my words
But He said, my words shall what?
shall not pass away.
Shall not pass away. Because the evidence is heaven and earth shall not pass away. That's my word. Why would I take an opinion on the fact that I walked in here on the earth? It's not an opinion, that's the truth. It's not an opinion that I woke up this morning and peace showed up in the atmosphere. It was the truth. That was God's truth. Now with the enemy, he's going to deal in your minds of peace. He did it with Eve in the garden. And he said, "Hath God said?" And now she had to take an opinion from a question that came from somebody who was opinionated to the leader of that. Huh? And I was telling someone, I said, now they got us on a gag order, but they're not on a gag order. They tell you not to discuss it, but they put it on public and media and discuss it. Where's your gag order? Come on. That doesn't make sense. Huh? They're telling, don't talk to nobody who's been involved. Don't say nothing about the case. And then you put the whole case on media across the United States. It's on news. I mean, here's what I told that person. I said, just like we got the negative from the recognition from the negative, that faith walk name is out there. What you gonna look at when faith walk names come back in the clip? And they put it all over media. So we can trust that man to God in that church because they didn't do what they've been accused of. That's what God said, I can bring you out of obscurity. But before I can bring you out of obscurity, you got to be obscure. Ooh. First, you got to be obscured before I can bring you out of obscurity. Oh, God. Read. All right, read Psalms 33, verses 4 and 6. Psalms 33, verses 4 and 6.
The word of the Lord is right.
The word of the Lord is what?
Right.
Right.
And all his works are done in truth.
And all of his works are done in truth. Done in truth. God is true. God is not opinionated. He's true. Read.
He loves righteousness.
He loves righteousness and judgment.
The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord.
And the earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. Yes.
By the word of the Lord, verse 6,
Were
the heavens made,
by the word of the Lord, the heavens were made.
and all the hosts of them by the breath.
Now, we literally experience and see the heavens and what dimension we're allowed to see them. See, do you not know the trees, leaves, and all this that we see? That's in heaven. That's a heavenly realm. Read. Read all six. Okay, thank you. Now go to the book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 19. Before we get done tonight, I want you to really be honest and ask yourself, why am I halted between two? If God is God, you serve him. But if the devil is God, you serve him. Why be caught between opinions to decide which one is one. You've got to accept one or the other. Hmm? Because you can't go in life constantly divided within your thinking. That is what is called unstableness. Hmm? That is mental distraction. Huh? Uh, How many in this room tonight in your life tonight that you can have thought about something and it just wore you out? It wore you out because you're thinking this one way, then you're thinking it this way, and then you go to somebody try to get directed, and then when they talk, you got even more disruptive in your thinking. Now you're trying to find proof from what they give you their opinion from. Huh? There is nobody on the face of this earth can give you a truth, absolute truth of what's going on. It can only be their opinion. Huh? Read. God's not a man. See, God's not a person that you take an opinion on. Huh? You can take opinions on him. Huh? Because we don't have the absolute pureness of truth. Only through Jesus Christ. So God is not a man that one can take an opinion on and be right. He's not a man what? But we can lie. Huh? And we can lie. And sometimes we do lie in a very simple situation. Huh? Somebody calls you on the cell, and you play like you somebody else. Come on. Come on. Now that ain't even send you to hell. If you might have a bunch of discomfortness before you get to heaven. Come on. Read. Neither the Son of a Man, he came from God. And he that came from God does not have to repent because there is no sin and neither is any guile found in his mouth. Is that all that verse? Read. Has God ever said anything and not done it? He has to do it because he said it. He has to do it because he said it. He said in Isaiah, said, my word will not return back unto thee void, but it shall accomplish whereunto I send it. It will accomplish whereunto I send it. Is that all that verse says? Read. What hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Mm-hmm. All right. Go to St. John 4:24. St. John 4:24. God is a spirit. God is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. See, spirit and truth, because see, they're going to be lying spirits. But God is the spirit that you got to worship him in his spirit and in his truth. Right? Because the devil has lying spirits. Right? Read. You know the verse? All right, now go to the 6th chapter. That's in John, verse 63. 6 and 63.
It is the spirit that quickens,
It's the spirit that quickens,
the flesh profits nothing.
and the flesh profiteth nothing.
The words that I speak unto you,
Mm-hmm.
they are spirit and they are life.
The words I speak to you are spirit, truth, and it brings life out of the truth. Read. Go to 16, please.
Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go?
Hmm?
Thou hast the words of eternal life.
Where we going to go? Because anywhere we go, it's only going to be from the. He said, you got the word. You got the word of eternal life. Why would we hop between God who got the word of eternal life and be hopping in the opinion of Satan who's nothing but a liar? Huh? And what I just said, you got to apply that to your life in any given situation that we are confronted with. Huh? See, what I'm teaching tonight, this word is applicable to any given situation that you may be confronted with. Huh? Wow. See, you have to recognize this also. Someone is talking. You got to recognize, is that their opinion or is that the truth? And sometimes we make direct assumptions out of what we think it is, and it's really not that. We're making a truth statement, and then we want to make that statement where we want people to believe that what I'm saying is really coming out of my tent instead of out of the truth. And I'm telling you what, when you don't respond back to people's opinions, they get offended. They will get offended. Read.
Verse 69.
69.
We believe and are sure that thou art the Christ.
We believe and sure that thou art the Christ. We don't believe that Satan is the Christ. We believe that you are the Christ,
The Son of the living
the
God.
Son of the living God. You know that verse? Now go to chapter 19 of Psalms, verses 7 and 8. And I know more scripture after this, but I'm going to go back quickly and allude to our opening text scripture. Psalm 19, verse 7 and 8.
The law of the Lord is perfect.
The law of the Lord is perfect, it's perfection.
Converting the soul.
It changes itself.
The testimony of the Lord is sure.
Now watch this. Watch this. Opinions can convert the soul. But the opinion of people that change the soul is changing the soul not to something that is true. But really, opinions change your soul to what you really want to feel. Huh? And because it makes us feel a certain way, we will in our own mind believe that's the truth because that's what we want to believe. Hmm? He said, but you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, make you free. What verse you at?
in verse 7.
All right.
The testimony of the Lord is true, making wise the simple. Verse 8, the statutes of the Lord are right.
The statutes of the Lord are right,
Rejoicing in the heart.
and it causes the heart to rejoice.
The commandment of the Lord is pure.
It's repeating it. God is true. His word is true. His commandments are true.
Enlightening the eyes.
Yes. So my question is, why would we have an opinion about God since He's God and He's true? Why would we be happy in our opinion about God? Because that place of being haunted stays there. You're trying to decide, is what the devil's saying true? And automatically we'll say no. We say no, but we don't act like it's no. Huh? I know, honestly, ask this out loud. Do anybody believe that Satan is false? We believe that he's false, he's not true. Let me ask you a question again. I reckon you like you don't understand what I'm saying. I am speaking English. Do you believe that Satan is false? Now, he's true in the being of who he is, but he's false in his actions. Okay? Then why is it sometimes we get caught in the opinion between God and Satan? And most of the time, we get caught in the opinion in the situation that has arisen in our life, or the circumstance that has arisen in our life. Isaiah chapter 40, closing scripture, in the 8th verse. Isaiah 40, verse 8.
The grass withers, the flower fades. But the word of the Lord, but the word of our God shall stand forever.
Now, let's look at the truth. Look at the truth. You have that evidence of that truth from the very day you could recognize this. He said the grass, what? Withers.
The flower fades.
How long have you seen that happen in your life? Those two things. How long have you seen it? How many have seen it? How many have seen the grass wither and the flower fade? You've seen it, right? That's not an opinion, that's the truth. So what did he say about God in retrospect to that?
The word of our God shall stand forever.
The word of our God shall stand forever. It's not going to fade, it's not going to wither like the grass and the herb, but we know the reality of it when it does, right? But he said his word is going to stand forever. So there's nothing there to take an opinion on. Huh? Because of the self-evidence of the truth of the experience that you have. Now watch this. You can't live for God just out of an experience. You can't base your closeness and relationship with God out of just an experience. Because experiences are always affected by something else that's causing that experience. Some of us experiencing things tonight is because of what people have done. Huh? And we're experiencing something negative out of what people have done and said. Hmm? So we didn't get saved from an experience with God. We got saved from a heartfelt belief that Jesus Christ died on the cross and we accepted Him. Faith started. Experience came later. Faith started your salvation, but the experience of your salvation comes later. Now catch it? Say it again. Faith initiated salvation for you, but you'll experience salvation as you go on and live in life. And then all of that verse, go back to 1 Kings 18:21. One more time. And let's look at that. And when you read this time, put yourself in the same spot that Elijah is putting these Israelites in. And you can use the personal pronoun. How long will I halt between two opinions? If the Lord be God, what would ever make us put God in that if situation? If the Lord be God. What has God done and not done that you now would put in the unsure situation as if? If this happens, that happens. If this occurs, this occurs. No. God works out of the power of Himself. What God does is not based on if situation. That He'll move if the sun shines, or He'll move if the sun don't shine. He's going to move anyway. The sun and the moon has nothing to do with it. Now, He'll use the sun and the moon to give you proof of His truth. But the sun and the moon does not determine what God's going to do. Does not determine. Does not determine the outcome. He says, how long halt you between two views? If the Lord be God, follow Him. But if Baal be God, then follow Him. Now, the second part of the verse is if Baal. Baal can become any given situation or thing that you put in your life. Right? That you draw more attention to than God. It can become your God. It can become your Baal. And God says, I will have no other God before me. I don't fit in the category of other gods. For other gods is beneath me. Other gods do not have the power that I have, that they can control heaven and earth. Other gods are subject to my heaven and my earth. Right? I'm thinking about something crazy. I'm thinking about different people of different walks of life. You take the Indian. They believe God out of nature. They see God in nature. They believe God in the truthfulness of what nature responds back to them. God out of Jesus Christ, who is inborn or embedded into us. Huh? Because nature can change on you. But God said, I will never change. I will be the same yesterday, today, and forever. Ask yourself the question, why would I be haughty between two opinions? Now, be haughty of two opinions. Those opinions come out of you. Hmm? Those opinions come out of you. I'll give you a meaning. I'm really close. An opinion is a belief or conclusion not substantiated or proven by proof. Hmm? So when we move an opinion, it's not substantiated by truth. It's generally substantiated by what we feel, what we think. So the scripture tonight not only opened this up to us, but prayerfully these scriptures have caused you to rethink, take a different view of God in relationship to you and Satan in relationship with what he does. Huh? Think about it. Go back to 1 Kings 18:21. 18:21. Really, Elijah was going a whole lot deeper than what the human mind can fathom, to the point that they could not even respond back to him. Hmm? And you know, this non-responsiveness is really telling us where the hearts of the Israelites were. They were scared to respond because they didn't know who and they really believed, and the one that they believed in could absolutely do what they said they could do. So they were afraid to answer. Hmm? They were afraid to answer because they had an opinion about God and they had an opinion about themselves. Huh? And did not God destroy all Baal's prophets to sing them when there was a battle between on the altar with the fire and the water and all that? And prophets of Baal called on God, called on their God, called on their God. And Elijah started making us say, maybe sleep. And he's no longer here. But when Elijah called on his God out of truth and truth, the very altar that they built, God sent water and knocked the fire up, even dried the ground that the water was in. Uh, so Elijah wasn't calling on God out of his opinion. He was calling on God out of the truth of who he knew God was, and who God is, and who God said. He didn't ever receive consecration.